It's my nose again. It's ruined us.
You know, I must have missed that one this year. I mean, I have the Charlie Brown Christmas special DVR, but did they show Rudolph already, Shelley?
They did.
Did I miss it?
It was like the week after Thanksgiving. You missed it. It was at 7 o'clock, I think, on a Sunday night.
Gonna have to track it down. Are you someone who checks in with the holiday specials, even if you've seen them?
You know, I've got kids at home,
Many
so
times
usually we try to do. We've seen The Grinch several times already this season, and we try to do that.
Yeah, I feel like if I don't see Rudolph and Charlie Brown Christmas, then I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's not a Christmas, right?
Something's wrong. Yeah, not a Christmas quite yet.
Sure.
Shelley Simpson is joining us again. You were here in 2016. We talked to you when you won the Women in Trucking Influential Women in Logistics Award in 2016. And since that time, now a lot of things going on at JB Hunt for you as well. So we will also have Kevin Rutherford still with us. Let's talk a little bit about your role in terms of technology at JB Hunt and how technology is really impacting logistics these days.
Sure, Chris. So, I've been with the organization 23 years. I've seen so much involvement happen through the process, but I feel like change is happening more quickly than we've ever seen before, and technology is really the enabler behind that. We committed in April to spending $500 million in technology over the next 5 years.
Wow.
And $223 million of that is centered around innovation and disruption. So very committed to really reshaping or trying to reimagine the way we think goods can move in the U.S., and we think technology will be the biggest enabler to that.
So what is the marketplace and what is JB Hunt 360 and how are those disruptive technologies?
So we've been, a business for over 50 years. We've been doing technology for years and years, and we've typically kept that internally. 360 is really allowing us to take all of the work that we've done in-house and externalize that on behalf of our customers and our vendors and our contract carriers. And so it's really putting the power of all of that spend that we have right back in their fingertips, so they don't really have to do the investment. We'll do that investment for them and allow them to really connect. So the marketplace really allows shippers and carriers to come together to really find the best fit for each one of them. So we imagine a world where if we can see all shipments and all capacity, we think we can really drive out a lot of waste in the system and be able to put the right truck on the right load at the right time.
I'm trying to picture the size of the server farm that holds all this data. Did you have to put in a new building somewhere? Where are all these servers going? It just sounds like you're crunching a lot of data.
Data is the key. That's probably the biggest thing. I heard you mention AI, and that's been a huge connection for us as well. We've partnered with the University of Arkansas to do a lot of science work with both their business school and their engineering school. So we've got an effort in our Center of Excellence, Center of Innovation there with them, and putting the science behind it. So for us, the more data that we can collect, the more work we can let happen on machine learning, and then thereby using artificial intelligence to just make smarter recommendations to really help carriers move in a better way to move through the country.
Kevin, I think you're about to say something.
I was going to say that somebody told me my intelligence was artificial, and I'm not sure if that was an insult or not. But along the lines of what Shelley was talking about, I was just reading an article this morning about, the connectivity of the vehicle as part of this with sensors in trailers that give feedback on capacity available while it's going down the road.
That's exactly right, Kevin. We are actually outfitting all of our containers and trailers, so some 100,000 or so pieces of equipment on the road will have trailer sensors on where they're located, but also if they're loaded or not. So just making it smarter, more connected overall. And so if you think about every single driver in North America, everybody's running around with a supercomputer in their pocket, right? So everybody has that phone. That's the enablement, really, that will allow us to connect together to know where shipments are at, goods are at, and where capacity is at as well.
What is the degree of buy-in you're getting from drivers on all of this? They have been historically resistant to monitoring, collection of data. Are they understanding the importance of this, and is the buy-in pretty high at this point?
I would say, Chris, as e-commerce has really taken hold across all of America, it has taken hold as well with drivers. And drivers want choices. Drivers want to know what is available and how they can make money as a result. And so I think we've talked about it for years. Will drivers really adopt doing things more online and more digital? And I will tell you, we have really set new records for ourselves. The amount of traffic that we're seeing has been fairly remarkable. The week of Christmas, we had 100,000 hits direct to us. That's about 5.2 million views coming into 360, really wanting to connect. So I feel like if they can see all of the shipments and then we can see the capacity, it starts to make sense for them and their ability to not have to haggle. If you think about the way transportation moves today, only about 17% of drivers, 3.5 million drivers, run for a large company. About 9% of those are independent contractors, and the rest run, in a small business environment. They want to know what is happening, and a lot of times they don't have information to allow them to have better choices, and so they rely on a phone call, and so they're calling people, asking for shipments, having to haggle over prices. We imagine a world where they can see it, bid on it, or just take it.
And
right
notification would actually pop up
absolutely
on their phone and let them know when something was
absolutely available. So think about the artificial intelligence we talked about. So I might know, Chris, that you are coming in every Monday and searching for a shipment out of Dallas, Texas. The machine will start to then understand that you probably live in Dallas, Texas, and you would like to go out. So your Sunday night alert would say, hey, here are 10 loads going out of Dallas, Texas, 3 of the same routes that you ran over the last X amount of time. Would you be interested in these shipments? So think of the same way that we see it on Amazon or any e-commerce site, very similar to how we are building our 360 platform.
Kevin, did you have something?
I did. One of the I realize people in general and drivers are afraid of this big change, this disruption. There's so much unknown, and I try to help them see where the benefits are going to come in. If we look at our system today, it's horribly inefficient. We have trailers running around empty all over the place, and that hurts everybody. And if we can start filling that trailer so it's not running empty, it benefits the entire economy because it can drop prices on everything. It benefits the carriers because they have revenue all the time now. This is just a huge leap forward in efficiency if we can start keeping trailers full, and everybody benefits.
Yeah, Kevin, and if I might add to that, I think you're right on in that space. If you look at the number of hours that are available to drive, 11 hours, the average is just over 7 hours. So the amount of waste in a truck driver's day is significant. Imagine going into a factory and every 3 hours it just shuts down. For a solid hour, shuts down, does nothing. That's what's happening every day with 3.5 million drivers. We believe we can cut into at least 1 hour just through technology, making it smarter, giving them recommendations on where they should fuel, where they should rest, what the restaurant should look like, what shipments they should haul, and how they can make more money. If you just put that 1 hour back in their pocket, of revenue generation, you're talking about a 10 to 12% increase in their W-2, which we believe is a key part of our strategy.
Does this help because the number one thing we hear about is detention time? I arrived and they're not ready for me. Does the 360 platform help with this at all?
Absolutely. That is actually a key release that we are coming out with the first half of 2018 that will be automatic on detention. So we will alert them that we've seen that they've arrived and that we actually believe that the clock is starting for them. We'll remind them to do their in and out times, and if it goes past the 2 hour mark or whatever the time period is set up for, then we'll send them alert to say you're automatically set up for detention now. The clock has started. Here's what you need to do to get paid. Things like auto pay. If you think about just the way truck drivers have to move today, we want to move them to a completely touchless, if you will. We want to just give them choices where they can say, I'll take load 1, 2, or 3, or us even being smart enough to know which 1, 2, or 3 they would like.
I got to tell you something. I had to mail somebody a check today, and as I was writing out the check, I was saying to myself, really? I'm really writing out a check? Really?
Yeah.
It's 2017, and I think I asked this person, do you have PayPal? And they said, no, I don't have PayPal. And I thought, oh, what? Now you've just handed me a chore. This is going to take time out of my day. I have to write you. Obviously, I owe you this money and I need to pay you. But now you've added this level of complexity to it. And I think when you could take levels of complexity away from people, you're saving them time and money.
I think you're right. And imagine them being able to take their bills at the end of delivery, scanning those, submitting them through 360, and setting up for automatic pay. That's a quick way versus having to wait on the check or wait on something to hit their bank account. They're going to know immediately where their payment's at.
When did you become interested in all this stuff? At what point were you thinking, well, technology is where it's at?
Well, we started rewriting our 360 platform for our shippers, and that was about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now. And through a marketing process, we were reviewing our hits, if you will, to .com. And what we recognized were carriers were our fourth highest reason to traffic into .com, which was somewhat shocking considering it was very difficult to maneuver. They actually went through a lot of steps to just find this real clunky load board. And we thought, wait a minute, we had already had over 1 million hits from our shippers. We had over 1 million, right at 1 million hits from carriers. We started saying, wait a minute, if we put an effort towards this, we already have two communities trying to connect. Now, if we make it actually a strategy, what could we do with that? And so we really started going into development. We spent probably about 2 years working on just the idea, the strategy, and then started working on development from that. So we've been in process for about 3 years or so. We launched in April of 2017.
And when you first started marching this stuff up the hill, did you get a buy-in immediately too? Was there any pushback at all? Did you have a sales job to do in terms of this stuff?
I think everybody tries to understand, because when you're thinking about technology, everybody starts saying, well, wait a minute, how does that impact me? And that's from customers, drivers, employees, our shareholders, all of those things. So it took probably a year of us talking through strategy, all the way from executive leadership team down to, our core team that's working on that. And we spent quite a bit of time developing the roadmap, what it should look like. But I got to be honest, part of this is listening to our carriers. How do we get smarter about the way we do it? We listen to them. What do they need? What does that need to look like? And so we've been very open about bringing them along with us to help us develop what that can be for them.
And in terms of the platform too, and in terms of the mobile aspect of it, I think you could have all the great data and the ability to crunch that data. If the front end doesn't look good, if it's not working for people, I think a lot of people have stumbled along the way when it comes to the GUI, to the user end of it. So how important is that to you in terms of making sure that this thing is easy to use, it looks nice, it acts like other apps that you're used to and are efficient?
Yeah, critical for us, because drivers aren't going to do something that takes them a lot longer or that frustrates them. They're already on the road for so many hours through the week. The last thing they want to do is get frustrated with an app that they have to use. And so we do have a user group that gives us feedback on a regular basis. That's where our features are coming out every single month on things they want to see. Like, for example, we've added a watch list. You want to watch these shipments, now add those to your watch list. If you'd like to, there's a combination of things.
Oh, I like that, because people are used to putting things on their watch list.
Yeah,
right?
So we've done watch lists. They can actually book their shipment now. They can bid on it. So do you want to just take it as it is? Do you want to bid on it and wait on an auction? How do you want to participate? A lot of that's come direct from our user group.
Shelley Simpson is with us, the Chief Commercial Officer and President of Highway Services at J.B. Hunt. We are asking about Santa's new sled today. So is there a car in your driveway with a red bow on it right now? Is there a new vehicle purchase in your future? Are you going to go out and get a Land Rover like Kevin?
I got to say, I bought my very first brand new car I've ever bought in my life about a month ago.
You and me both. I mean, it's been, I've never really. So what was it? Dare you tell us? What you went out and got?
It's a Denali. I have a lot of children, and
okay.
I only got that because it was, as everybody thinks, it's a good deal, right?
Yes, that's right.
But I'm a used car buyer, and
me too. Yeah.
And I just I wasn't that interested in a new car. I went to test drive used cars, and you know what the song and game is.
Yes, exactly. Well, good luck with it.
Thank you so much.
It's nice to have a new ride in the new year.
Yes.
And enjoy New York City while you're here
Thank
as well.
you so much, Chris.
Have you been to see the tree yet?
I've been. I went last night to see the tree. We've done a little bit of everything. It's been a huge trip for us as a family. But
well, it's always nice to be in New York for Christmas time.
We love it.
When folks want to find out more, should they just go to jbhunt.com?
You
Is
got
that the best place to start?
Best place.
And they can sign up for the marketplace.
It'll be right there on their front screen. They can sign up.
Download the app in the iOS store and in Android as well.
That's right.
And when will the watch version be available? Can they work it yet from their watch?
I don't know if we've even done that yet, but I'll put that on the roadmap just for you, Chris.
That would be fantastic. It's really a pleasure to talk to you again.
Thank you so
Merry
much,
Christmas
Chris.
and Happy New Year.
Yeah, you as well.
Stay here. Kevin Rutherford and I are going to get into the whole subject of autonomous vehicles and artificial intelligence and when your next new vehicle purchase is here on Freewheelin'. 888-876-2336. And Interstate Weather on Freewheelin' is brought to you by TA and Petro, home of the Cool Cup, the coolest cup on the road.